When looking through some of the recruiting classes over the years, I stumbled upon the 2008 quarterback class, which happened to be a ridiculous class of talent, guys who became great in college, great in the NFL, and guys who were just fun. So we got 11 quarterbacks here today, and I'm going to be going through showing you each one of them, in order of where they were recruited. Kirk Cousins was one of them. He was the lowest ranked guy, the 3-star player. We had Colin Klein, for those of you who remember Colin Klein. I mean, it's been so long. Colin Klein's literally the Texas A&M offensive coordinator nowadays, which was shocking to hear about. And you're also going to have to bear with the fact that obviously these players aren't going to look identical, but I did everything I could to make sure most or all of them have their number immediately, or will have their number by the time they play, have their gear set up. It's just the faces aren't going to look great. But RG3, one of my favorite players, probably my all-time favorite college players. Darren Thomas, another notable player from like the early 2010s, late 2000s, a guy who, was really good in college, didn't end up making the NFL, but Oregon was good before Mariota got there, and he was a part of that. Landry Jones, a guy who started a billion games at Oklahoma and was having battles with guys like RG3 and Colin Klein. The Big 12 was a lot of fun in the early 2010s. There isn't even a lot of SEC talent in this video. It's mostly Big 10, Big 12, a lot of fun players from that time. As, Oklahoma, I know they're in the SEC and in this game, but back then they weren't. Back then when the conferences actually made sense. We have Mike Glennon, a guy who's become a bit of a meme for, his abnormally large neck and the fact that he got paid a lot of money to do a whole lot of nothing in the NFL, but he was pretty solid in college. And obviously the crown jewel, Andrew Luck, who became one of, if not arguably the greatest quarterback prospect in NFL history coming out, and he was so good that he would have been a number 1 overall pick if he came out. He decided to stay in college for another year and perform even better than he did the year previously, and we know what happened with Andrew Luck. Blaine Gabbert, a guy who is also a first-round pick, a lot of first-round picks in this class. And I was surprised looking through just how little of these guys were even 5-star prospects. There were only 2 guys in this class that were 5-star players. E.J. Manuel, another first-round pick. E.J. Manuel was a 4-star. Interestingly enough, I'm showing you these guys in inverse order of who they were ranked as prospects. There were only 2 5-star players. The first one was this guy, Dane Chris. So you see RG3, Andrew Luck, Colin Klein, all these other guys. None of them were 5 stars. But Dane Christ was, and he was easily the least successful of them. I contemplated his inclusion in the video, but if he's a 5-star quarterback, he's going to have the opportunity to rewrite history and maybe have a good career. And the number 1 quarterback was just an absolute physical specimen that was Terrell Pryor. Pryor was just a phenomenal athlete and, ended up being a quarterback a little bit in the NFL, but is even more known for being a wide receiver in the NFL. So only 3 of those guys are going to be starters in season 1. So the first season or 2 are going to be a little shorter. You're going to have to bear with me in that regard. But seasons 3, 4, and 5 are loaded with content and action and in-game playing. But surprisingly enough, we do have playoff action for Mike Glennon, and if you guys were taking bets who the first quarterback to make the playoffs would be, if you bet Mike Glennon, you are a winner. The only 3 that started off the bat were Glennon, Luck, and oddly enough, Kirk Cousins, who's the lowest overall, but Michigan State just didn't have a quarterback after year 1 because Aiden Childs transferred. But Mike Glennon got his boys in scoring position, down by 3, but he's getting sacked here, and now in a 3-point game, 3rd down and long. They're going to just hand it off and be content with a game-tying field goal here. We're going to be hopping into any playoff game or conference championships, and at the end of the video, we're going to stack up how these players' careers turned out in real life compared to how they did in college. Were they better? Were they worse? Did they get drafted higher, get drafted lower? What happened to these players compared to what was in real life and in game, as they're going to go 3 and out here, and NC State's going to have the football back, so Glennon going to throw outside. That's going to be caught, and the defender, he dove and missed, and now at midfield and beyond, it's going to be Glennon throwing over the middle. That's going to be caught underneath and going inside the 40-yard line. 3rd down. Glennon's going to go outside. That's going to be caught in between 2 defenders, and a great grab is going to set them up inside the 10, and the handoff's going to be in for the touchdown. So NC State's got the lead here with 2.5 to play, and Colorado's getting sacked on 1st down. It's going to be a loss of 11, and now they get a couple of yards, but it's still 3rd down and 17, and a pass outside at the 2-minute warning is broken. Up it is 4th and 17, game on the line, and Mike Glennon, is he going to get a playoff victory? It's looking like it. 1 first down to end things once and for all. 3rd down and 2. He is at the marker. They give it to him, and Mike Glennon is going to get the first playoff victory. Now, it was a situation with opportunity. And NC State is always pretty good in these games. It gets into the playoff mix, but they're not going to be able to get past Penn State, a 2-score loss. But on the board is Mike Glennon for a playoff victory. And like I said, NC State looks pretty good in these games. I've seen NC State go win national championships numerous times. Kirk Cousins, being, low 70s overall, I did my best to make sure all these players could actually be good. You know how hard it was to do multiple different simulations after a year to make sure these teams got players with like high devs, and making sure a Baylor player had star or elite dev, and then a Stanford player, and then everyone else had like impact or star, and whatever the case is. But on the screen you'll be able to see all the overall jumps that these players take, where they are in the depth chart, if they're starting or not. Of course, I'm really interested to see how the transfer portal is going to play into things here, and how that's going to affect things, because obviously the transfer portal didn't exist 15 years ago. So how does it work? In the class of 2006, the best players in that class, when I did the simulation of that, we seen a major player transfer, and it was really crazy. But will that happen again? What if RG3 wants to transfer to a bigger school? What if Andrew Luck wants to go somewhere else? I don't know. But we'll see if someone ends up transferring. When it comes to showing you the players each year, I thought I'd just kind of speed it up a little bit and just show you the ratings rather than showing you the mental and the physical traits. And the development's not going to change, their height and weight's not going to change, and the traits are at least on the side for you to see. So I'm just going to kind of show you the ratings and speed things up a little bit, especially because, like I said, in the first 2 seasons, it's going to take a little bit of time for some of these guys to get on the field. This video has 11 quarterbacks featured. In the first season, 8 of them received red shirts, so we're going to get a pretty big 5th year for most of these guys. The only major notable guy not being around for that 5th season is going to be Andrew Luck, but we're going to have a 5th season of guys like Terrell Pryor and RG3 and all these other people, unless they declare for the draft. And, with 8 of them receiving red shirts, now they're all going to be coming back and being backups, except for RG3, who's going to be starting at Baylor. So I would love to eventually see like a big RG3 versus Andrew Luck college matchup, and being a big Baylor fan, and RG3 being the person who kind of got me to fall in love with college football and be a Baylor fan. I'm obviously going to be rooting for them, but you can let me know who you're rooting for in this video. I'd like to see Andrew Luck get into the playoff mix, or whoever the case may be. But as we look at the top 25 here, it's going to be no NC State at the top like they were last season getting involved in the playoff mix, and Stanford is right on the fringe of the playoffs, but unfortunately isn't going to make it, it looks like. And Baylor, they got into the top 25. Kirk Cousins and Michigan State, they got into the top 25. And despite being so close to the playoffs, Stanford's not going to quite get in. They were basically one of the first 2 teams to be left out. And while teams like Oklahoma and Oregon got in with Landry Jones and Darren Thomas, those guys are buried down on the depth chart as 2nd, 3rd, 4th string quarterbacks. But I did make sure to take every precaution I could to make sure none of these players got cut. None of them ended up getting cut. And I did figure out that there is a way for me to make sure that they don't get cut. If you go to like National Signing Day and you just kind of switch through the teams and do the cuts for them, you can make sure that the players don't get cut. So none of them got cut. All of them will get an opportunity. All of them will eventually become starters. So I made sure that that didn't happen. We can also see teams like Michigan State, Baylor, NC State get into the bowl games, and Baylor winning their bowl game, Michigan State winning their bowl game, and Mike Glennon, he wasn't able to take care of business in his bowl game. QB transfers are very relevant to us. Missouri, who has Blaine Gabbert, gets a quarterback. CJ Carr goes from Notre Dame, leaves one school that has one of our quarterbacks, but he goes to Oregon, and Oregon's going to get, another person to put ahead of Darren Thomas. It was also crazy to see Dylan Raiola transfer to Tennessee. I don't often see Raiola transfer, but that must have meant that Nico declared early or left, or whatever the case was, and we'll see if we run into Tennessee in the playoffs with any one of these other teams. But from here on out now, it's basically like we got most of these guys out here starting. The 3rd year development has kind of hit in. They're pretty good now. RG3 already at a point where he's in the low 80s, high 80s with the boost, and some of these other guys are getting in starting. So we have Kirk Cousins still a starter. We have Colin Klein as a starter. We have RG3 as a starter. Mike Glenn and Andrew Luck have kept their jobs. And we're going to have Terrell Pryor, Chris. They're all going to be starters. So we're going to be working with some good programs. Ohio State, perennial playoff team. Notre Dame makes it a lot of the time. We're going to have Stanford, who's doing obviously a lot better now that Andrew Luck's around. Baylor doing a lot better now that RG3 is around. We have Colin Klein. Kansas State's always a beast in the simulation, so these guys should be making the playoffs. I don't know how much they're going to be making it for teams like a Baylor or for, whenever Florida State. I don't know if Florida State could be saved by E.J. Manuel when he eventually gets to play, but we will see if that ends up happening. But Oklahoma, when Landry Jones ends up get to playing, whenever Darren Thomas plays, it's Oregon. They always make the playoffs. So we're going to get to see plenty of these guys in action. I don't know how much I'm going to see Kirk Cousins. I don't know if he's going to be able to bring Michigan State to the playoffs, but we will see. We head into season 3, and Terrell Pryor, I mean, look at him. He's looking amazing, but we have a lot to get into for season 3. When I said we had a lot of action, yeah, look at the top 3 teams. It is Andrew Luck, it's Terrell Pryor, it's RG3. Then we have Colin Klein here in the top 10 as well. We have 4 teams in the top 10, including the top 3 teams. So we're going to get into the conference championships for all these guys, and why not start with Andrew Luck taking on Miami in the ACC championship. I know this is weird. Andrew Luck, Stanford is not in the Pac-12 championship. They're in the ACC title game. We're just adjusting to current college football as Andrew Luck drops back. He's going to throw outside, and that's going to be caught up the sidelines. And now at the 21-yard line, he's going to drop back again, throwing end zone, and the defender came over the safety, baited him into it, and it's an interception. He takes it back to the 20-yard line. But Stanford's still up by 8, so it's going to be Miami needing a touchdown and a 2-point conversion with 5 minutes to go, but they're not going to get it. They're going to get 3 and out, and now Stanford's got the football back, and a handoff is going to be to the 45-yard line. Luck got his team in scoring position as he rolls out, throwing one underneath. That's going to be caught, turning upfield, and he's got the first down. So now 3.5 to play. Luck, clean pocket, throwing one, a hospital pass, and that's going to be knocked out. Field goal try, though, to give him a 2-score lead, and a certain victory is going to be no good. And Miami still got a chance in this one. Handoff, and he's sweeping it wide left, cutting it inside. He's got the first down, and now with under 3 to go, dropping back. He's got a clean pocket, throwing outside, wide open man in between the zone defenses, and at the 36 now, he's got another clean pocket and floating one up top over 2 defenders, and it's a touchdown for Miami, but they need the 2-point conversion, and the 2-point try for the tie. Rollout pass is good, and right at the goal line, the out route got him, and now Andrew Luck is getting sacked on 2nd down. It's 3rd down and long at the 2-minute warning, and you're going to need something big here, but they're going to be content just running the football because I guess they didn't want to go be aggressive for it, but now Miami's in great field position. 3rd down and 2. The quarterback's tucking and running, and suddenly Miami, who is down by 8, has under a minute to play, and they're in field goal range, and they're running the football on 3rd down, but Stanford stops them 4th and inches. You're taking the field goal here, but Stanford, Andrew Luck's going to have 40 seconds. They're probably going to the playoffs regardless, but can you get the first round bye? Luck, play action. He's going to roll, and he's going to get sacked, and they're not going to call a safety. They're going to rule him at the 1-yard line. You need to go 99 yards in 25 seconds, but they got the out route there. Running back to the line, they're going to spike the football. Throwing incomplete pass, 3rd down and 10. Luck throwing one up the right side. He's wide open, and he's on the run, and Andrew Luck has delivered a potential victory here, and they actually might have just gone 99 yards for the win. One more play to solidify it. A lot of time, only rushing 3. Someone's gonna get open, and someone does, and you just gotta make the tackle here, and they do. Andrew Luck helps Stanford get that first round bye, but we have 2 other guys trying to lock one up. Can Terrell Pryor do it, and can RG3 do it? We'll head over to Griffin in the Big 12 title game against TCU. He's throwing one immediately, and that's gonna be caught on the run. Is he fast enough to outrun the defense? Yes, he is. TCU down by 2 scores, and RG3 delivers, but TCU, they're not done quite yet. A touchdown with under 2 minutes to play, so RG3's got to do a little bit more if he's going to have his team getting that first round bye, but he's getting sacked. TCU's got the football back, 1.5 minutes to play, and throwing one over the middle. That's going to be caught in between 2 defenders, and now hurrying back to the line in enemy territory, 41-yard line. Quarterback is going to step up. He's got an open lane, but he's going to run and throw the football. There's a flag down, intercepted, and that flag is going to be for an illegal forward pass. He could have just took and ran that one for a good gain. He wanted to test his arm. It did not go his way, and Baylor, so that's RG3 getting a first round bye. That's 2 down. Can Terrell Pryor do it? He's losing the Big Ten title game over Wisconsin, and Wisconsin's got the football. Under 5 to play, and a field goal would keep this game within 1 possession, but a shot there over the middle is going to get them to the red zone. Just keep them out of the end zone, and you are good, but they are in the red zone. Now make it inside the 10-yard line. Goal to go, and Wisconsin now 3rd down and goal. Can they get the touchdown? The running back picks up the block. Tight end drag, and he's going to get stopped at the 1. They're going to send the field goal unit out, and the kick, they They are going to fake the field goal. They flip it back to the kicker. He's trying to seal the game. They just try to fake field goal, and it failed. Now Ohio State with the football, and they're going to get a safety. They could have had 3 points. They get 2, but they get the football back. And now Ohio State, if they can get a stop, it's a 7-point game, but it's not looking good for them. 2-minute warning, handoff. Another first down is gotten here. That's 2. Make it another bit of time off the clock. And on second down, there goes the running back for another first down. And Ohio State didn't even get really much of a chance here. They were going to go down to Wisconsin, so 2 out of 3 get the first round bye, and RG3 is going to get a Heisman, so that's pretty cool to see for me. But we head into the playoffs now. You got a little bit more to go. Stanford, Baylor, Kansas State also snuck their way in. Ohio State, that's 4 teams in. Can Colin Klein get a playoff victory? And it's not looking good. Washington is going to come out and smack them around, so Colin Klein wasn't really ready. A lot of points in the third and fourth quarter for Washington to seal this one up. So that's going to be 0-1 in the playoffs for our boys. And now in another game, we got Utah versus Ohio State. Ohio State could have had themselves a first round bye. They got to go and get the extra playoff victory, though. They are up by 3, and with the football in their hands, under 6 minutes to play, Terrell Pryor going to go with a read option, and Pryor is going to have the first down, fighting for it, not sliding. He's got it. Second down and 2. Pryor is going to go play action, take a shot over the middle. It's going to be caught, and now inside the 10-yard line. He's going to get brought down at the 6. Goal to go. Can they make it a 2-score game? Handoff is going to be through the end zone. Touchdown, and Ohio State scores. But Utah gets a touchdown. It took them a while to get it, though. Only a minute to play with 1 timeout. Onside kick is going to be recovered by Ohio State. And Ohio State's going to come out here with a victory. So Terrell Pryor, he's moving on to the second round. So let's go to the second round where we got 3 teams all matched up. And Ohio State's got a rematch with Wisconsin. Baylor's got Oklahoma. Stanford's got Washington. Let's go and see this rematch of the Big Ten title game where Ohio State's up by 2 scores with the football. And Terrell Pryor running down the sidelines. They're looking a lot better in this one as they are up by 11. Terrell Pryor read option is going to get stopped, but there's only a minute to play. Ohio State is going to get a field goal, so it was their turn to just take the football, run the clock out, and get a victory. Terrell Pryor is rolling so far, and they are on to the semifinals. Now let's take a peek over at the next team. Baylor, Oklahoma, big matchup here. Former Big 12 teams going at it. Way back when RG3 was playing at Baylor, he had a magical touchdown pass to win it to Terrence Williams, a massive upset that Oklahoma fans probably don't want me to remind them of, but you know, Oklahoma fans have caused me some pain as a Baylor fan for many years, including that Jalen Hurts comeback. I don't want to talk about that one, but Baylor had a magical moment that night. Can they have another one here as a touchdown's going to be scored? And Baylor's got the lead, 2-point conversion to make it a 7-point game. And RG3 on the keeper can't get in. So Oklahoma's going to have 4 minutes to play third down, and they throw underneath. That's going to be caught. First down. And this team does not have Landry Jones starting. It has Lenora Sellers, the transfer quarterback, starting for them. So Lenora Sellers from South Carolina is going to be playing here. And 4th down and 1, going to be in the shotgun formation. They're going to hand it off. That's going to be a first down. And he slips through and gets a lot more than that. 45-yard line. And now 2.5 to play. Sellers is going to go play action. He's going to get sacked, though. And Baylor, their defense comes up huge. It's 3rd down and long. Sellers on a screen. He's just going to try to set up maybe a better 4th down try. And he's going to do just that. It's still 4th down and long, though. You need to go 10 yards. The Sellers is going to throw it over the middle. It's going to be caught and turning upfield. He's got the first down and into the red zone. And Sellers got his team set up at an end around here. It's going to get stopped. And Baylor's defense comes up with another big play. It's 3rd down and long. Sellers to throw. They got another screen. They're trying the same strategy. It doesn't work this time. 4th down and long. Game on the line. Sellers is going to throw one. First down marker. It's broken up, but there's a flag down. And a flag. It's pass interference, and Baylor gives Oklahoma another opportunity. Sellers to throw. He's going to get sacked here on 3rd down. It's 4th down again. Can they finally get off the field on 4th and long? Sellers is going to throw end zone, and it's caught. 3 4th down and long conversions and a 2-point conversion to try to make it a full 3-point game, and they get it. Now we're going to need some RG3 magic with under a minute to play. Need to get into field goal range. Griffin's going to tuck and run, and RG3's on the run. He's going to slide down, and he's already got his team just a couple of plays away from field goal range. He's going to throw one over the middle. That's going to be broken up, and a hit was taken. 3rd down and long. Griffin is going to drop a little bit further back, throwing outside. It's swatted away, and now it's Baylor's turn to try to convert a 4th down down and long. Does RG3 have something for us? He's going to throw one outside. That's going to be caught, and they got it. First down out of bounds. They're in field goal range. 30 seconds to play. Griffin shot in between two defenders, and it's caught, and he's on the run for the touchdown, and Baylor takes the lead, 33-29. It's just 20 seconds to play. Sellers, he's got to pass over the middle, caught, and turning upfield. Now you're in, long distance Hail Mary range. Probably need one more play to get yourself in that territory. Throwing one up the seam, and that's going to be caught, and now tripped up, and they're in Hail Mary range. 8 seconds to play. Last opportunity. It looks like this is going to be it. He's taking his time. All the receivers in the end zone, throwing one up, and it is knocked away. Baylor is going to move on, and they're going to the semifinals, and it's going to be them and Ohio State moving on. Could Stanford do the same? RG3 and Terrell Pryor onto the semifinals, but Stanford's not looking so good right now. Washington up by 8 with the football, third down in field goal range, and they are going to get stopped, but there is under 2 minutes to play. Timeout used, and the field goal to make it a 2-score game is going to be good. So in a 2-score game, we head over to the Super Sim. Can Andrew Luck get anything big going his way? He cannot. It's an interception. So Baylor's going to move on. Ohio State's going to move on. But Andrew Luck gets left behind, and Washington now has taken out both Cullen Klein and Andrew Luck. So that's going to be fun to see if they end up facing another one of these teams. Guaranteed, Ohio State or Baylor's going to a national championship. They're facing each other. It would have been cool to see this potentially be a matchup in the national title game, but it's not going to be. Baylor's down by 7 against Ohio State. 6.5 minutes to go, and RG3 going to need to work some more magic here, and he is going to throw on the run. That's going to be caught, and the receiver turning upfield. Look at the move he put on him. I don't even think that was intentional, but it worked out tremendously, and now they're in the red zone. Chance to tie this game. Griffin, end zone, touchdown. Baylor, they got the tie game. So now Terrell Pryor's got it with third down and long, threatening to go 3 and out. He's taking a shot deep, and it's going to be man being caught and on the run. Touchdown. Ohio State's got it right back. And what does Griffin have as a response? He's threatening to go 3 and out. It's third down and long for him, and he's going to take a shot up the sidelines, and that's going to be caught, and he's now on the run, and he's going to go all the way, and we got a shootout here in the fourth quarter. Terrell Pryor's going to be back on the field, and what does he got to do to end this one, as he's going to get sacked here? And now third down and long. Pryor, does he got another long touchdown in him to avoid a 3 and out? He's going to try to run it, and Pryor is going to slide down in front of 2 defenders. Wasn't going to be able to get past 2 of them, I don't think. And Griffin now with the football. He's going to throw one over the middle for a midfield shot. Now first down and 10 turns a second down. A draw play is going to give him a nice amount of yards, and that's going to be a first down. So now in enemy territory, it's going to be Griffin handing off once again. The run game looking really good when you have the threat of RG3 potentially pulling it and keeping it. It's going to keep the defense on their toes, and another big run there is going to get him in the red zone. First down. Time is running down. 2 minutes to play. Another handoff is going to have a broken tackle, and now fourth down and 1. So now you're looking to a field goal try, and Baylor is going to have the lead, but is that going to be enough to put them to a national championship? Terrell Pryor is going to have the opportunity, though. Shot over the middle is going to be caught, and they're already at the 40-yard line. Timeout used. Minute to play. Pryor is going to have a quick pass outside. That's going to be caught for another first down. And they got out of bounds. Under 60 seconds to play. Enemy territory. Pryor going to just take another shot over the middle. And he is dropping back and playing pocket passer pretty well. You got third and long now, but you're in field goal range, so overtime is a possibility. But Pryor's going to take the dump off with a wide open running lane. And he's got the first down. Now they're inside the 15 and 30 seconds to play. It's going to be play action. It's going to be Pryor. End zone. And that's going to be intercepted. Baylor has picked it off, and they're going to a national championship, and RG3 has got to face Washington. And coincidentally enough, for Baylor and for RG3 in real life, Baylor's big bowl game and big final game of RG3's career was the Alamo Bowl against Washington, where that was just an awesome game. I remember watching that one. It was spectacular. And now Baylor with an opportunity to take the lead. They got a big run here. First down and 10. It's going to be Griffin. Opportunity to put this game in their control. Throw one underneath. That's going to be dropped and intercepted. And that's going to be unfortunate for RG3. The defender just picked it up off the drop ball, and that's not even Griffin's fault. It's going to be a pick 6. Whoever that receiver is never going to hear the end of that one. I don't know if that was a receiver or a tight end. Whoever he is, just never let him around that campus ever again, because he might have just cost the Baylor a national championship if they can't come out here and come up with a big-time 10-point comeback. Griffin on the roll. He's going to hit it for the 45-yard line, and now in enemy territory, Griffin is going to throw one left side. That's going to be caught, and now inside the 30. He got time if you could score quickly here. It's 4th down and 7. It's basically do or die from here on out. They just opted to go for it, though, as Griffin breaks a tackle. They could have kicked the field goal for the one-score game. They went for it, and Griffin rewards them. So now 1st down and 10. He's getting sacked. Now we got to hurry back to the line. 2.5 to go. Griffin is going to throw right side end zone. That's going to be caught for the touchdown. And Baylor still in it as Washington has an opportunity to put this away. They're going to go to a little end around. They seen that against Oklahoma. They blew it up, and now they blow it up against Washington. 3rd down and long, and the running back's not going to get it. So now Baylor with the opportunity to try to tie this game or even win it with under 2 to play. Pass is going to be caught underneath. Clock is running, though. 1:40 to go as Griffin's going to take the snap, and he's going to throw one right side. That's going to be intercepted, and the defender, he's going to stay in bounds. He's not going to go out. He's going to tire up the sidelines all the way for a pick 6. And RG3, that one was his fault, and that one hurts. That one hurt a little bit. And if prime RG3 at Baylor, winning a Heisman Trophy, putting up a monster season, and doing all he did in that playoff run and having some spectacular plays, if that can't win a national championship, then how the heck am I supposed to go and win them a national championship? You know, that's a little plug for Baylor Dynasty, because I'm not going to have prime RG3 in Baylor Dynasty. I'm going to just have whoever the heck I get given, but he ain't going to be as good, obviously. But, you know, a little plug for Baylor Dynasty for those of you who want a, you know, long-term Dynasty series. I got one. They're already wrapping up year 3 next week with a bowl game and an off-season, so go check that out if you want to. But refocusing on the video we have here, you see one of our teams make the national championship, and as unlikely as it was Baylor. You know, I would have assumed it would be Ohio State, maybe even Stanford if Andrew Luck could have carried them hard enough. But you could take a look at the season that these guys were having, and RG3 did have a nut season deserving of the Heisman Trophy. Terrell Pryor was really good. Luck was pretty good, and we take a look at some of the other bowl results for some of our players. We had Mike Glennon get a bowl win. Kirk Cousins still hasn't won a bowl game quite yet. And then we had Notre Dame. So Chris, he won a bowl game. He had a decent record for his Notre Dame squad. And we do actually have a little bit of portal action. And this one, that's a little crazy, because I personally loved the Clemson-Florida State games in the early 2010s. If you remember that Clemson team, I was a big Taj Boyd fan. They had Andre Ellington, DeAndre Hopkins, Martavis Bryant. They had Sammy Watkins. I love those Clemson teams, and their games with Florida State were always massive. So, you know, if we're setting ourselves back into the early 2010s, imagine if a big-time quarterback transferred from Florida State to Clemson. That would just blow things up in the ACC. But we have some of our other guys getting a lot better. RG3's looking like an absolute menace, and he could go back-to-back on the Heisman trophies. Darren Thomas looking pretty nice, but he's not going to be able to start quite yet. We have Landry Jones. He's looking better. He's not going to be able to start quite yet. But most of these other guys are going to be starting. Landry Jones and Darren Thomas are the only quarterbacks left that aren't going to be starting in this season. So, like I said, I made sure none of them are going to get cut, and all of them are going to get an opportunity to play. It just so happens for Darren Thomas and Landry Jones, it's going to take them a little longer, because those two teams have been pretty active in the transfer portal. I mean, we already seen Oregon grab CJ Carr, and both Oklahoma and Oregon have been just snagging quarterbacks left and right in the portal. I mean, Oklahoma had Lenora Sellers. They got Hawkins going into his final season, so he's going to be starting for them. EJ Manuel, obviously being a transfer portal player, isn't going to get progressed, so he's still just sticking at an 80 overall, but he could be pretty good once he gets into his senior season. Christ, I mean, he's already surpassed what he's done in his college career. His college career was pretty bad, but he's looking pretty decent, at least, having started a full season and been pretty competent. Terrell Pryor also looking like an absolute menace. We're going to have him, Luck, and RG3 all battling for a Heisman and a potential national championship in year 4. Going into season 4 simulation, the regular season has ended. We have Ohio State and Stanford pretty locked up to be in the college football playoffs, and then Baylor's going to be down here at 10, so it's a little bit interesting as they play Colin Klein and Kansas State in the conference championship, and it looks like that game's going to be for a playoff spot. None of the other teams got into the mix, so it's the same 4 as last season, except it looks like one of these two teams is going to be left out this year, as Baylor made the national championship last season. You've seen RG3 there after that run. He's over 100 yards on the ground, and they are up by 2, so Kansas State needing a stop here with 6 minutes to play. Nice first down there, diving over the middle, 35-yard line. Now 3rd down and 4. Griffin over the middle again. He's going to have it for the first down. Now just outside the red zone. 3rd down and 11. Handoff is going to be stopped. So they were content just taking the field goal here, trusting the defense to stop Colin Klein. And the field goal is going to be good. So it's going to take a touchdown for Kansas State if they're going to go out here and pull this off. But Colin Klein shot up the middle. It's going to be caught for the first. And now at the 45-yard line. They got 4 minutes to play, so plenty of time. But you're obviously going all out to score the touchdown here. If you give RG3 the football with the lead, you might not see it back with 3 minutes to play as Klein's got his team. 25-yard line caught, first down, now in the red zone and inside the 10-yard line. He's breaking tackles. He's fighting his way inside the 5. Now 2nd down and goal. Handoff. It's going to be in for the touchdown. And RG3 is going to need some more magic if he's going to find his team in the playoffs. He's going to take a shot deep, and that's going to be incomplete. 2nd down and 10 now. Griffin's going to throw and take another shot deep. Right side again, and that one's going to be broken up as well. Now you got 3rd down and 10. Griffin is going to throw, and he is looking outside. Just going to throw it away. No deep shot there. 4th down. Does he have another big play in him? He's taking a shot deep again, and it's going to be swatted down. And now Baylor down by 1. They have to find a way to get the football back, and they're going to. So now with a field goal try, Baylor's going to need a touchdown if they're going to go to the playoffs here. If they can get it, though. 4th down and 4. Griffin's going to throw it, and he's got a clean pocket, but he's going to throw an interception, and Baylor's season is going to come to an end like that. I mean, they're still going to get a bowl game, but obviously after making a national championship last season, this is going to be a major disappointment. Big Ten title game is going to be a little disappointing from the entertainment standpoint, as Ohio State's just going to cruise on to a victory. So Terrell Pryor, he's getting a first-round bye. So now Kansas State's looking like they could get a first-round bye if they're a high enough seed, as they are a conference champion. Miami and Stanford got another battle here in the conference championship. Last time, it was Stanford coming out with a last-second victory. Miami trying to see if they can do it. Stanford, though, with the football up by 3, and Andrew Luck is dealing, got his team inside the 30-yard line. Play action. He's going to get sacked, though, and the defender came off the edge free. 3rd down and long. Andrew Luck going to throw. He's now going to tuck and run it. Can he get to the first down? Yes, he can, and Andrew Luck all the way to the 5-yard line, sliding down. It's going to be goal to go, and Luck is going to throw one middle. That's going to be broken up. It's going to be 4th down now. So they're going to try the field goal. It is good, but you're not safe quite yet. It's a 6-point game, and now with a run play, Miami's got the first down, and they are moving already. Miami now with the pass, and the quarterback's going to break out of a sack. Now stop and throw, and that's going to be caught. What a play! And moving the chains now in enemy territory. 41-yard line, dropping back. He's going to get hit, and he's not breaking out of this sack. It's going to be 3rd down and long now. Dropping to throw. He's going to step up, evade pressure, yet that ball is just going to hit off his running back. It's 4th down and long. Miami, what do you got for us? They're going to throw one underneath, and this time they do get it to their running back. But that's not going to matter. So now Stanford's going to have the football with a chance to end this. 3rd down and 1. Miami gets the stop. Now they got a minute and a half to play, and the quarterback's going to find an open man, and he is on their run, and all of a sudden Miami, they got a lead here. If they can hit this extra point, which they do, Stanford, Luck now needs to go down the field to see if he can get into field goal range. It's a 1-point game and a nice play to start the drive. Luck with just about 60 seconds to play, throwing one outside. That's going to be caught and out of bounds. So now you're in the outside of field goal range. Maybe need about 10 more yards. Luck breaking out of a sack, and he's going to get them exactly that, exactly enough. And now he's got plenty of time to just go and run the football. Don't take any bad plays, but he's going to go and make a great play. And Luck now is going to hand it off, and the running back's going to dive and touchdown Stanford. And the 2-point conversion for the 7-point lead is going to be stopped. It is no good. He barely missed out on it. And now Miami's got 20 seconds to play. Nice one there to get them closer. You're in Hail Mary range now. You got 15 seconds to go. Miami dropping back. He's going to float one deep, and he's got a receiver. And Miami is going to do exactly what Stanford did to them last season. He's going to go all the way for the touchdown. 2-point conversion. It doesn't even matter, really. Miami's going to win it on the last second. It was Andrew Luck with a big touchdown last season to beat Miami in the conference championship and secure that first round bye. Miami gives them a taste of their own medicine. Now Stanford, they made the playoffs still, but they got to go the long way. RG3, first team All-American, and Colin Klein, second team All-American. But that's not going to result in a Heisman for RG3, as it's going to be Miami getting the Heisman Trophy. I don't really understand sometimes how the, Heisman winner won't make All-America, but we ignore that. It's a big-time, high-scoring game with an interception here as Stanford's going to start off with a pick. It's a 38-35 game against Nebraska. 3 minutes to play. Luck's getting sacked. It's 2nd and 17. Now make it 3rd down and 11. Luck to throw, but he's getting sacked again, and just no time to help him out. It's looking like his Indianapolis Colts days that are to come, but they're going to get a field goal as Luck is going to watch his defense try to stop a team that's been scoring on them left and right. A nice run will help them out there just past the 30-yard line as they're going to throw a ball caught at about the 40-yard line, turning upfield. That's a 1st down and close to midfield. Under 2 minutes to play. Nebraska going to throw a contested pass, and that's going to be caught. What an adjustment to bring that one in. 35-yard line, 2nd down, and the quarterback's going to throw over the middle. That's going to be a diving grab, and 2 great effort catches there in the red zone. Now 2nd down and 4, handoff. He's going to go all the way for the touchdown, and Nebraska now's got 45. Can Andrew Luck do something here? He's got a big play, and that one's going to be tracked down. The receiver didn't have enough speed, but he's got his team at the 15-yard line, throwing one. Touchdown, Stanford. And now they're going to simulate here for the extra point. I usually simulate the extra point, but they went for 2. They went for 2 when they got it. I wasn't ready for that. That's my apology. I was not familiar with them going for 2 points there. I've not seen that situation happen, but they're going to get the interception, and they're going to win. Look how many points were scored in the 4th quarter. I was not ready for them to go for 2. I usually just sim the extra point, and that's not happened before, but I apologize. Now it's Stanford versus Ohio State. We got Terrell Pryor versus Andrew Luck. So we've seen Terrell Pryor basically take on all these other guys, and Andrew Luck's got his team in position to take a 2-score lead here. Luck, touchdown, and they are up by 2 scores as now Terrell Pryor's in desperation mode. Ohio State trying to get back to where they were last year, which was a semifinals appearance and a just very close loss to Baylor. Now they're down by 2 scores to Luck, and they're going to throw an interception. 5 minutes to play, and it's not looking good. Stanford gets a field goal, so a 3-score game, even though Ohio State scores a touchdown, it's just not going to matter. And Stanford takes care of business, so they're going to be on to the semifinals, and there's not many teams standing in the way of them in a national championship. We're going to tune over to Kansas State. Technically, they did get a first-round bye, but that game against Baylor in the Big 12 title game was essentially a playoff game. It was a play-in to get into this spot, and they're taking on USC, who they got smacked by Ohio State, but they won their first round of the playoff game, and now they are down here in a tie game. And look at the quarterback trying to make a play. He can't do it. There's under 2 minutes to play. Colin Klein is going to throw one underneath. That's going to be caught and not quite the first down. They're going to punt it away. And USC, this has been a back-and-forth defensive battle in this 4th quarter, but a big bomb there is going to be caught and going all the way. There's a lot of explosive plays in this video. And now Colin Klein, what has he got here? He's got a shot over the middle past the 30-yard line. You got just over 60 seconds to go and score a touchdown, and they're going to throw an interception. Colin Klein was not much of a thrower in college. He was definitely a dominant runner of the football, though, and he is going to see his team go down. And despite the first round bye, despite USC getting smacked in the conference championship, it's not going to matter. USC is going to get the win. Kansas State goes down, and now Andrew Luck's going to be battling Georgia, and it's a 31-31 game. So Luck has been putting up the points in this playoff run. They've been doing their job, as it's been the defense really letting Luck down. And, typical Andrew Luck to just see the rest of his surrounding cast let him down. But he could still overcome it. He's done it before, and he'll go on to do it in his NFL career. Georgia now with the football. They're going to throw one over the middle. It's going to be caught at the 40-yard line. Georgia dropping to throw, and they're going to have the tight end leaking out, and he's going to be wide open, and he's going to go for the touchdown. And Andrew Luck, it's looking like it's going to take another 40-point performance to win this game, as Luck's going to throw over the middle. That's going to be caught at the 45-yard line. Now hurrying back up there in enemy territory. 3rd down and 2. Throwing one outside. What a grab, and that's going to be a first down inside the 40. Now 2nd down. Luck is going to run right into his sack, and it's 3rd down and long. How much can he keep on doing? It's 3rd and long, and he's getting sacked again. And man, this really is Andrew Luck on the Colts. It's 4th down and long. He's going to throw one. That's going to be broken up, and unfortunately, it's all the heroics in the world aren't going to be enough, and Luck is going to go down. Feel bad a little bit for Andrew Luck, but you see here, Kirk Cousins impressively 0-4 in his bowl game endeavors in his college career. Baylor gets a bowl victory over New Mexico, pretty easy there. NC State drops a clean 63 on Tulsa. Clemson, EJ Manuel did get the start, and he won his bowl game. And then Notre Dame, they won their bowl game. So a lot of bowl success for our players. Missouri, on the other hand, only team to not even make that, as Blaine Gabbert is not really making a name for himself in this video. Kirk Cousins does finish out his career as a 4-year starter, though, which is pretty nice. Didn't really hit the highest of highs and didn't really see his team even make the playoffs. RG3 had another great season, and unfortunately for Andrew Luck, he's not going to be able to even make a national championship. But just like Andrew Luck did in real life, he put Stanford on a bigger national stage. He made them really good. He was the best quarterback that they had, and once again, Andrew Luck in the game. He goes and takes them to great success. I don't see Stanford come out here and dominate in simulations. They have their couple of, every occasional dynasty they come out here and do pretty nice, but being in a top 5 ranked team back-to-back seasons and Andrew Luck playing, Heisman level football, he could have won the Heisman with that season that he had. Though our journey is not over quite yet. Even though 3 of our quarterbacks are going to be moving on, we still have 8 guys left. And Kirk Cousins, he got drafted in the 4th round in real life, not so much here. Mike Glennon was a 3rd round pick in real life, didn't get drafted. And Andrew Luck, probably went number 1 overall, just like he did in real life. So that one, Andrew Luck has been pretty on par with what he was in real life. Colin Klein, fully maxed out. A lot of these guys are going to be fully maxed out at this point, and RG3 almost is, and he is a absurd 94 overall. So I think we, captured RG3 and Andrew Luck, who were 93 and 94 pretty well. Darren Thomas is finally going to be good enough to start for his team. So, Oregon finally lost out on the QB carousel and didn't get anybody in the transfer portal. Landry Jones as well is also going to finally be a starter for their team. So both of them being, mid to high 80s. Blaine Gabbert is not good. Blaine Gabbert was a little questionable in college. He was definitely overdrafted. That's not even just hindsight telling us that. After you got past Cam Newton in that 2011 draft, it was hilariously bad. Blaine Gabbert overdrafted. Jake Locker overdrafted. Christian Ponder being a 1st round pick. Even when people were looking through the draft at the time, they're like, man, that's a little high to be taking these guys. But hey, they needed a quarterback and they, reached on them. So Blaine Gabbert not doing too good. Terrell Pryor, that could be a Heisman winner right there. He's a 92 overall, and he's looking monstrous, and he's going to have the number 2 overall ranking in the nation just behind Nebraska. Nebraska's been really good. Baylor going back to the playoffs, but as weird as it is, Baylor's ranking this high. Ohio State's all the way at number 2, and Oregon's going to be down here, making the playoff mix, but none of them made the conference championship. Clemson as well. None of our teams made the conference championship, which is so weird how you're the number 2 team in the nation in Ohio State and didn't make the playoffs. But Terrell Pryor does go and win the Heisman. RG3 comes in 2nd place, so almost got a 2nd Heisman, but he does make All-American. Him and Terrell Pryor are going to end up in that mix. So, as interesting as it is, we're not going to have any conference championship play here. Oregon does sneak in, Clemson does not. And the unfortunate thing for Oregon was Darren Thomas got hurt through the season. He got hurt immediately, but he came back for the playoffs. So the only games Darren Thomas is legitimately going to play is the playoffs of his final season in his 5th season, which that's crazy. But Darren Thomas is coming out here, I guess, in his full game debut, I guess, is going to get a victory. That's the first game he fully completed. So Ohio State and Oregon take care of business. Baylor's in a little bit of trouble here as they're taking on USF and RG3. They didn't even get to make the playoffs last season coming off of a national championship loss. So they want to come out here and have a big-time revenge tour. And 25-yard line already threatening to go up by 2 scores. Griffin's going to throw outside. That's going to be caught. And at the 15-yard line, they're going to throw a little screen outside. And the receiver is going to put a little move on. And look at that. That's a nice move. Touchdown for Baylor. And USF is not going to be able to do anything about that. Baylor's going to come out here with a 2-score victory. So 3 teams moving on to the 2nd round, and we could be having ourselves an opportunity to see somebody in the national championship. And try as Baylor may, they have not been able to escape Oklahoma and Texas. Even though they're all the way in the SEC nowadays, they've had to play Oklahoma in the playoffs. Now they're playing Texas in the playoffs, and it feels like forever Texas and Oklahoma just perpetually bully Baylor. But they got the best of Oklahoma in a playoff game. Now can they do it to Texas, as it's a tie game here with a lot of time to play, and Baylor's got the interception. So in this tie game, RG3 with the football, under 6 minutes to play. He's going to throw a shot over the middle. That's going to be caught, and now already in scoring position. Griffin's going to drop back and throw again. He's going to now tuck and run, and he's going to get into a sack. So now 4th and long. It's going to be the situation here with 5 to go, and the field goal is no good, and Texas is still a tie game. They're going to have the opportunity to take the lead here in a big play. One man to beat, he brings them down, but now Texas finds themselves in the same spot, 30-yard line, caught, and now it's a fumble, and Baylor picks it up. So now Baylor gets a second straight turnover, and now, I mean, if their kicker could have made a kick there, they would have had the ball and the lead. Unfortunately, they got to go down and get another scoring drive or scoring opportunity and hope they can convert this one. Griffin's got a first down into enemy territory, and now with 3 minutes to play, Griffin's gonna throw. He's gonna go over the middle. That's gonna be caught, and now running a lot closer. He should be able to make a field goal from here, but they're looking for the end zone now. Throw one out. A screen was designed, and it got jumped and taken back, and Griffin just ran the play that he was told to, and the defender made a brilliant play. They threw that screen against USF. It worked beautifully. Against Texas, not so much, and now they got to go and get a touchdown with 2 minutes to play if they want to send this game to overtime and not have their dreams ended here. Griffin's breaking out of a sack, throwing one, and that's the magical plays of RG3, making his team go all the way inside the 20-yard line, throwing a screen out. That's going to be caught, and now first down all the way to the 1-yard line. So close. 2nd down and goal. Now Griffin's going to go play action here, and they're going to go play action. That's a really questionable call. 3rd down and goal, and that's going to be intercepted. You were 1 yard away just from the football. You tried to get too fancy. You ran play action. You did all this other stuff. You throw a pick. And that's how it's going to end for RG3. Now we turn things over to Oregon, and that's going to be a big play and a touchdown as Darren Thomas has got it, and Oregon up 31-27. And Darren Thomas in real life, he took his team to a national championship, and even though he wasn't able to get it done, he knows how to win the big games in real life. Can he win them even with the lack of experience that he has in this game, as it's going to be a defensive tackle interception? That's a rare one, as 3rd down and 2. Now handoff, and that's going to be a touchdown, and Oregon's going to win this one. Darren Thomas, this is going to be such a weird career arc for him, because his first full game completed was as a 5th-year senior in the first round of the playoffs. I don't even know how that happens, but Ohio State now is in a battle against North Texas. Even though North Texas earned their way to be here, San Jose State did too. You got to admit it's been a little bit of an easy ride as getting San Jose State in the first round, North Texas as your draw in the second round. You're expected to come out here and take care of business, but North Texas is putting up a fight and showing why they were a top 4 seed and getting a first round bye, and almost a touchdown there. That ball is broken up. It's 4th down and goal. Game on the line, throwing one. That's going to be caught, and now Terrell Pryor's got to go and get a game-winning drive to go to the semifinals of the playoffs. He's got a big play there, and the Heisman-winning Terrell Pryor trying to get his team into field goal range, and he's going to do that and a lot more inside the 30-yard line. Minute and a half to play. 2nd down. Pryor is going to throw one middle. That's going to be caught, and he is down at the 1. Timeout used. 2nd and goal. Handoff, and that's what Baylor should have done. Just hand the football off. Touchdown. 2-play conversion to make it the full 7, and they got it. So now the defense just coming out here with a minute to play, having to do their thing. North Texas converts on 4th and inches. Now they are at the 45-yard line, 3rd down and 1. 30 seconds to play, and they got a first down again. Moving the chains, moving the time down a little bit closer to the end here, and it's going to be a sack. And now Ohio State has really set them back. 10 seconds to play. Throwing one. That's going to be intercepted. They just had to force it on 4th and 20. And now Ohio State's moving on to the semifinals. So we have another little battle here as Oregon and Ohio State are both in the semifinals. They're not facing each other, but they could very well be facing each other in the national championship. Oregon has put up 38 points against Texas, but Texas has got 45, and Darren Thomas doing everything he can, but it hasn't been enough so far, and an incomplete pass there on 4th down is going to put Texas in control. Oregon, down by 10, just isn't able to get the job done. It was a quick one, but Texas just was so overwhelming. 48 points up on the board. And now the only hope for one of these teams to win a national championship is Texas, and they got a game against Nebraska where they are up by 8 with the football in their possession with under 2 minutes to play. So it's up to them to try to put this one away. They can't get the first down, so Nebraska is at least going to have an opportunity here to tie this game. They can't win it in regulation, barring some sort of miracle, but Ohio State could shut this thing down and go to a national championship finally, as the quarterback has got a big run there into enemy territory. Minute 20 to play. He's going to throw one, and he's got a lot of time, and now he's just going to run it again. Got to spy him, got to get a contain, get something out there to get an eye on him. Minute to go, dropping back, clean pocket, throwing, and that's into traffic, but it's caught, and what a grab there. Now inside the red zone, throwing the football again. He's going to go outside, turning upfield, out of bounds. It's 1st and goal, 40 seconds to play. Nebraska got it outside, touchdown, and now the 2-point conversion to send it to overtime. He's going to have it, and just like that, we're going to overtime. So Terrell Pryor's got to come out here and make a play, and he's going to do just that, running the football. 1st down inside the 15-yard line. Just got to get this touchdown, get a stop, and you're good. Throwing one out to the running back. He's going to race for the corner, and he's got it close, but not quite in. 1st and goal, though. Pryor got it in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, and a stop will win them this game as the quarterback for Nebraska is going to go and run again. He's running wild on them, and now 2nd down and goal. He's going to run it again, and he's got a touchdown again, and they got to stop this quarterback on the ground. Nebraska's turn now. They got it 35-35 as they are going to throw one on the run. This quarterback is ridiculous right now with some of these plays he is making, and now inside the 15-yard line. As soon as I speak to compliment him, it's picked off, and now all Ohio State has to do is kick a field goal, and they can win this game. 2nd down and 14, Pryor. He's going to throw one, and it's going to be intercepted, and this game is not over quite yet. We're going to another one. It's a 2-point shootout from here, and Ohio State's got it first. That's going to be a handoff, and they're going to get blown up in the backfield. Pryor didn't even get a shot at it. Now Nebraska can win it here. They're going to throw back in the end zone, and it's going to be caught. And in a triple overtime game, it's going to be Nebraska coming out with the victory, and that's a heartbreaker for Ohio State. Having the lead that they had with the football, Nebraska making the comeback, and then the overtime situation, you had the interception. You could have just sat there, kicked the field goal immediately if you wanted to, then you throw a pick right back. So that's unfortunately going to be how things end, but don't go away quite yet because I have a really good little ending segment for us. I took a lot of time to put all of the graphics side by side to see what they did in real life compared to what they did in college. I ranked all 11 quarterbacks based on how they did as well, so we'll get into all of that as I kind of take you through the final season stats of what these guys were able to accomplish, as just about everyone now had a chance to start. Darren Thomas was the only major exception because even though he did play and we got to see him in the playoff games, he didn't start the regular season because he got hurt throughout the entire thing, but he still at least got to see a little bit of play, and, you know, for a guy who ended up taking his team to a national championship in real life, we didn't get to see as much of him, but we at least got to see all of the guys play a little bit, even if we didn't get to see them specifically on the field. Guys like Kirk Cousins and Blaine Gabbert obviously weren't taking their teams to the playoffs or a conference championship, but unfortunately, a lot of these guys didn't end up getting drafted, but Terrell Pryor goes in round 1. RG3 is going to end up going in round 1. So that's pretty consistent with what happened in real life. And now we are finished up with the simulation, the experiment, the resim of the careers. And we're going to move on to ranking all 11 of these quarterbacks based on how they did in real life and stack them up compared to what they did in the game, as we're going to start with Blaine Gabbert. He was the worst one. He was the only quarterback to lose most of his games, and, you know, compared to what he did in real life, it was obviously worse. Now, what I made sure to do is, because these players, you know, Blaine Gabbert is an exception, but most of them didn't play the same amount of games or a similar amount of games, so I made sure to take their averages, their yards, their touchdowns, their interceptions, so you can at least see what they did in a per-game average rather than just cumulative statistics. But Blaine Gabbert, only person with a losing record, 2 seasons started, didn't even make a bowl game. We move on to number 10, and even though Darren Thomas only played 3 games, it was still better than Blaine Gabbert because he at least played 3 games within the playoffs, so 2-1 in bowl games. In real life, obviously, he was awesome, won 80% of his games, but we just didn't really have much of a sample size. He was the player who played the least, so I mean, that's just unfortunate that he didn't get to play that final season due to injury, but maybe next time we do these experiments, I'll try to, like, turn injuries off. But we stayed pretty healthy elsewhere, so I mean, he played pretty well in the 3 games that he did play, at least, so there's that. In real life, no quarterback played more than Landry Jones, who started over 50 games and racked up 16,000 yards in real life and had a very successful college career. In the game, though, it took him a while to get on the field. The team got Lenora Sellers, they had Hawkins starting, they had Jackson Arnold, so it took him some time to get on the field, and he only played 1 season. He went 7-5, but that wasn't enough to make a bowl game because they finished so low in the SEC. But in that 1 season, was all right, but nothing crazy here. And these first couple of quarterbacks are guys who just played 1-2 seasons and didn't really do a whole lot. But if at any point you want to see these statistics, you can pause the video. I'm going to try to just move through these. Up next, we got Kirk Cousins, who was a little bit different in the sense that he was a full 4-year starter for his college. But in real life, he was better. He did win more games. But you could see that there were, some varying levels of success that Kirk Cousins in real life made 2 bowl games, whereas in the game, he made 4, but he just didn't win any of them. In real life, he was good enough to get drafted in the 4th round. He wasn't good enough to get drafted in the game. Regardless, he's still a massive success. He was the lowest ranked recruit of all of these players that we had, just a 3-star prospect, and still went on to have a good career in real life, in the NFL, and in the game. He's doing pretty good for himself as well, being a 4-year starter. Here we have someone who actually did better, because in real life, Dane Christ was by far the worst. 5-10 record, had to transfer to Kansas, and was just straight awful. Whereas in the game, he was just okay. I mean, a 22-17 record, won 2 bowl games, was pretty consistently winning 7 to 8 games at Notre Dame. Was nothing out of control, nothing ridiculous, but he was fine, which is still a lot better than what he did in real life. So, I mean, in that regard, and a good touchdown interception ratio as well, and 10,000 yards on the dot, which is pretty cool. But overall, at least we have somebody here who did better than what they did in real life. Up next, we got EJ Manuel, who in real life was a 1st-round pick, but he got to start a lot more games at Florida State. But I think things worked out pretty well here and were pretty accurate, because things took a little bit of a left turn as he went to Clemson. He transferred from Florida State to Clemson, of all schools, got to start 2 seasons, won about 70% of his games, got the 2 bowl victories. In real life, he had bowl success, and there were some stats to have him be favored in College Football 25 rather than what he did in real life, even though there was a discrepancy between the amount of games he started. He had a lot more yards, a lot more touchdown success, and just like in real life, bowl success. So overall, a pretty solid career, and he's going to rank right in the middle of the pack of these guys. We're on to the top 5, and we're going to start with Mike Glennon, who in real life was not nearly as good as he was in the game. Mike Glennon in year 1 came in, freshman starter, took his team to the playoffs, and won a playoff game. Now, he didn't hit those highs the rest of the way, but he started a lot more games, had more bowl success, had a playoff victory, just won more, produced more, was better in just about every single way. And he didn't get drafted, which is, a lot different than what happened in real life, because he got picked in real life in the 3rd round just because he had a really big arm, and that was about it. But I guess that just we'll chalk it up to scouts these days not being tricked and fooled by like one trait and drafting the player in the 3rd round because of it. But overall, a better college career. Now we get to number 4. That's going to be Colin Klein, and we were not able to replicate his ridiculous amount of rushing touchdown production that he had in real life. I mean, Colin Klein had 56 rushing touchdowns in his college career, which is absurd, but a respectable 24, and he, compensated for it by throwing about 70 more touchdowns through the air. He did start more games, but again, just like in real life, there is some kind of replication here, bowl game success not being in Colin Klein's favor. 0-2 in the playoffs, lost his other bowl game. They won both over 70% of their games. They both had rushing success. One was a better thrower, one was a better passer. Both went undrafted, and maybe this Colin Klein goes on to be an offensive coordinator at another college, just like he is in real life at Texas A&M right now. We got the top 3 and the clear top 3. I'm going to put Andrew Luck at number 3, though, and very on par with what he did in college and real life. I mean, you could look at the average numbers. 254 yards to 260, 2.2 touchdowns, 2.1, 0.6, 0.6. I mean, this Andrew Luck was spot on with what he did in real life. His yards per attempt within 0.3, completion percentage within 0.2. Little bit more rushing success in real life, but that makes sense because, his athleticism would have been utilized a bit more in today's football. So this one is maybe the most accurate depiction, and it's of Andrew Luck, who went 42-12, so he had the extra season to start. 3-0 in real life in bowl games, 4-2, got playoff success. He didn't make the national championship, but still did pretty good. Both went in the 1st round, both were amazing. I think this one is very spot on, and there's a legitimate argument to be made on where he performed better. Was he better in real life, or was he better in the game? He was just great in both. Deciding between the top 2 was hard. Both of them took home Heisman trophies, but I went with Pryor at number 2. And you could see the win percentage, 80 to 83%, pretty spot on. Now, in the game, he became a much better passer, like an insanely better passer, 73 completion percentage, almost 10 yards an attempt. He still had rushing success, and the rushing numbers were pretty even, and he had more rushing touchdowns in the game. So, I mean, Terrell Pryor all across the board was an amazing success, and maybe he would have been better in today's NFL with his athleticism and maybe going to a place that could have molded his talent a little bit better. He was just a freakish talent and a freakish athlete, but he was amazing in the game and was a deserving Heisman, arguably had the best single season of any of the quarterbacks. And coming in at number 1, no bias, I swear, it's our G3, who was the only person to make a national championship. Nobody won one, but he made a national championship, had the most bowl wins, most overall wins, Heisman Trophy, and absolutely stuffed the stat sheet. And despite being unbelievable in real life, he was even better in the game. Another person who I thought was depicted pretty well in the game, and when we watched him, he was unbelievable, and you could even see the numbers, the splits, even the rushing production was pretty on par, but overall, just amazing. And if you wanted to say Terrell Pryor was the best because of his single season, sure, I think RG3 was the best overall, but you guys can let me know, and I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think, like, comment, and subscribe, so all that stuff is super helpful, and I will see you guys all in the next one.